was there a moment in the offseason or something that happened when you guys came together as players and said, we have to take over, we need to do more ourselves and not put it so much on the coaches? And if so, when was that and what happened?
I think the time for that would have been when the Leadership Council was created. And then, so the Leadership Council was created by the choice of players and coaches. And then before the Western Michigan game, we had a player-led team meeting, and we kind of just laid out, the rules, or not necessarily rules, but we just kind of just put out a foundation of what this team is going to be built off of, and how us as players are going to take account for everything that happens this year, and just understanding that everything is on us. So I think before the Western Michigan game is when we settled that.
When was the Leadership Council actually formed?
During fall camp.
Daniel?
Mike, as an offense, do you get any added confidence knowing you have a kicker as consistent as Jake?
Yeah, I mean, Jake's he's a part of the offense. We can always count on Jake. Moody's, he's real cold. To do what he did on Saturday, you just, as a player himself, having that confidence in those situations, I love that from Moody.
Isaiah? He's been around him a couple of years now. I guess, is there anything different about him this year now that he's not splitting time with the Quinn?
Just understanding his role and, just at practice, really, handling his business and doing what he has to do to make sure that he can help us in every way he can.
Isaiah?
Wasn't your first big catch of the year, but getting that big catch against Nebraska, it felt like it's been kind of a long time coming for you to finally be able to go out there and have plays like that?
I mean, not really. I don't really think about that. I just do what I can to help the team, whether that's blocking, special teams, just staying patient, knowing there's going to be a time where my play or something I do is going to be needed on the field, and just making sure that I stay ready when the time comes and just making plays that come my way.
Aaron?
Mike, who's on that leadership council you mentioned?
It's like 12 of us. Yeah, it's a good amount of us.
You're on it?
Yes, I'm a part of the council.
Did the coaches come up with you guys? How did you guys?
So it was the idea was brought up by the coaches, but everything else was through the players.
Did you guys have a hand in like the uniforms too and everything? Deciding like the alternates?
Are you saying do we decide that?
Yeah.
Yes, we decide that as a council, including the coaches. But Coach Harbaugh asked us what uniforms do we feel would be best for which games and that type of stuff.
Andrew?
Are there any offensive stats you guys keep track of that we may not know about that have contributed to the great start?
In terms of
I don't know anything. I don't know. Maybe it's obscure, like blocking stats or anything you guys keep track of that your team is excelling in.
I would say just like we understand what doesn't show up on the stat sheet, and when we go over film, none of that goes unnoticed. So I guess that would be a good answer to that question.
Does it actually get tracked? I mean, is there
No, we don't write that stuff down. At least I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
To your left, Reiner?
Mike, what was the message Jim conveyed to the team after that win Saturday?
Really, just we got to keep going. Don't fall in love with our own stuff. I'm sure you guys have heard Coach say that. We still have a lot to prove. Just keeping the underdog mentality that we have as a team, and just keep going. We haven't done what we want to do yet. So,
Personality-wise, have you seen him more engaged, I guess, this year? I mean, it seems like there's a little bit more of the kind of pep in his step that he had in kind of the early part of his tenure.
I would just say Coach is doing everything he can to make sure that we are successful as a team.
I believe Tom was next.
I asked Jim this, but I was curious your perspective as a player. Kate, after the game, said that maybe in years past, other Michigan teams don't win that game. From your perspective, what's different and what has changed for you guys to be able to win a game like that?
Yep. I don't think anything Cade said in that interview was wrong. And like you said, there's nothing against any other team. It's just us as a team this year. The leaders on this team are doing everything that we can to make sure that everything goes right. And we're just holding each other accountable, holding each other to the standard that we set, and just making sure that we can do everything possible to make sure that we have each other's backs in crucial situations like on Saturday.
Got time for a few more. Going back to the left, Austin.
Mike, Coach Harbaugh mentioned a couple weeks ago that you guys were putting in some extra time with Cade on the deep balls. You got that one on Saturday. When you guys watch the film, how close are you to hitting a few more of those? Do you see the opportunities there, and what's the key to cashing those in when you have those chances?
There will always be opportunity. I think just what would have helped that is just making sure during the week of practice is executed. Detailing the routes, timing, all of that stuff goes into what happens on Saturday. So just making sure that during the week of practice we can execute it the way we want it to be executed on Saturday.
Ryan.
Do player aspirations to become a coach one day ever come up in the locker room at all during meetings or anything like that? Or is there anyone on the team that you could maybe foresee being a coach someday?
Yeah, definitely. I could see someone like, I could see J. Ross being a coach. I could see Aiden being a coach. I don't know, maybe even myself probably could be a coach. But
what do you think the keys are to becoming a successful coach?
Just making sure that I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. I'll think about that one.
Just a couple more. Isaiah.
Yeah, the stretch there in the Nebraska game where it just seemed like just about every play was being reviewed. When you have that kind of constant stoppage play, does that do you feel like that type of thing takes away your momentum at all, or how do you approach that when you have to spend so much time during a drive going back to the sidelines and coming back out?
I think you could look at it from different perspectives. I guess the way we kind of handled it was just being able to come back to the sideline and just recollect ourselves, go over focus points again real quick, making sure that we would have the right play calls going back in, making sure that, we would just be able to go out there in a calm state of mind and, with all the crowd noise they had going on, just being able to go out there, understanding what's about to happen and just knowing situations.
Angelique.
I have two. I was just wondering, you lost Ronnie Bell early, and I was just wondering his presence on the sideline, what he has brought to your group, and I would imagine to the whole team offense. How has he done that? And also I wanted to ask you about bye weeks and timing of this one, and what's your feeling about having this time?
Ronnie, it sucks that we lost Ronnie, Of course, everyone would love for him to be here. But he's done a great job of, holding every receiver in the room accountable. And his presence is definitely felt on the sideline. He's vocal. He's engaged at all times during the game. And, Ronnie's always going to be Ronnie, the bye week scheduling, the schedule's a schedule. There's nothing we can do about it. Just got to understand what the focus is. We can't lose sight of our goal, and we just have to continue preparing for what's ahead of us.